Hi, and welcome to another Really Robin tutorial. Today I've got 3 tips for making multiple cards, those times when you need to mass produce a single card over and over again. So my very first tip for you is to use the Stamparatus tool. You guys, this tool's entire job is to make your card making life easier. So what I'm doing is taking my card front, and I'm going to align the images where I want them to be stamped on the front. And so the first image is the right triangle stripe from the right triangle stamp set. So I lay it on the paper first and then use the hinge plate to pick it up exactly where it's going to be. Now you saw I drew a line around my card front on that grid paper so that I would know exactly where to put the next card front. The second thing I'm going to do is layer my other image where I'm going to want that to be. And I went ahead and threw the greeting on there too because you guys, I want to keep it really simple. So I used the second hinge plate to pick that up. So now I'm ready for the ink. I'm going to start with petal pink for my background, which is going to be that right angle. I'm going to ink both sides of the plate up at the same time, using the Memento Black, Tuxedo Black ink for the flower and the greeting. I'm going to ink both of them, and then you're going to see how easy it is to position them right on your card front, exactly where you want them, over and over again. So first I do one, and then I do the other. It really doesn't matter which one goes first. I'm just going to do it in that order so that I do it over and over again. All right, so the first one's done. Now all I have to do is slip the same size cardstock right into where I penciled in around the card front size, and then I can just ink and stamp each one. So what I love about the Stamparatus is that it positions so accurately that if you accidentally make a mistake or you don't ink it right the first time, you can just re-ink it and re-stamp it, and it's going to put that image in the exact same spot as before. So it makes it really easy to fix those mistakes, lines up perfectly every time, saves you a lot of time. All right, now that the card fronts are all stamped, now I'm going to do some coloring. Here's my second tip for you. Even with a detailed image like this flower image, use your sponges to kind of just create some general coloring so that your coloring goes even faster. So I have 3 colors that coordinate with the card that I'm going to do here. So I've got petal pink, I've got flirty flamingo, which I'm using right here to color the larger roses, and then I've got terracotta tile to use as a darker accent color. So by using the sponge daubers, these amazing little sponges, you can really get pretty detailed and small with the surface area that you're coloring just by kind of tipping the sponge. I'm also going to take the petal pink and I'm just going to draw that color down the front of the card and just kind of sponge lightly over my greeting. Now I'm going to use markers, terracotta tile and pear pizzazz, and I'm just going to fill in the details of this image. So instead of coloring everything with, another way to color like an aqua painter or markers, this will just speed it along and you still get the desired effect of having nicely colored flowers. I like to have a sponge dauber for just about every color, at least the colors that I use the most often. And so I keep those kind of sorted by color families so I can just grab them and use them. So first tip, use the Stamparatus tool to easily stamp your images. Second tip, keep your coloring really simple so that you can do it over and over again without getting too tired. All right, finishing up those, look at all of these lovely card fronts ready to be assembled. So my third tip for you is to keep your punching really simple and kind of utilize the layers of your card to create really simple accents. So unfortunately my card's kind of out of the picture here a little bit, but you'll see it in a second. So I just used a circle punch to punch out the greeting, and then instead of adding another additional layering piece, I'm just using the black cardstock that peeks through from my layering piece as the little pop of color behind my greeting. And I think it turned out really nicely. It just gives it enough little dimension to it that you just get kind of almost a layering background behind it without having to do the extra step. All right, so those are my 3 tips for you for making multiple cards. Look at those beauties, ready for the mail. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy stamping.